Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin, and we are on episode 61 of The Last of Us Part 2, our no return blind, or no return mode that we're doing blind. Um, we're back. We can look at challenges, I guess. Bosses, that's out of the question. Bosses are rare. Hello, Peppa Pig, how are you? Before we get into it, because there's a lot of news happening in the video game space right now. There's a lot of cool stuff. I definitely want to just talk about the episode before, which I know it's been, it's like Thursday night, and I waited a little longer than I should have. Uh, you're like, bro. Yeah, there's lots I'd love to talk about. But I do want to at least share my thoughts first before we get into this. With the fourth episode of The Last of Us season two, called Day One, which is very interesting because the first day, I guess I'll do a daily run. Let's, yeah, the latest episode, yeah. Okay. I guess we'll do daily. Let me just see what this daily run's about. Ooh, Manny. Okay, they're making me play as Manny. 50% more parts, blah blah blah, no health kit recipe. No health kit recipe. I don't know about that, but we can try. I mean, you have selected moderate. Okay. So we'll play as Manny. So yeah, it's called Day One. Now we know from playing the game that the game is uh kind of divided into 3 days that you're
Okay.
playing over the course of following Ellie and then following Abby. You go back to day one, day two, day three. This was day one, and I'm pretty sure it's all of day one, or at least in the TV's version of it, because obviously they make it to the theater by when all is said and done, and they go to sleep, and then they wake up for the next day. I'm pretty sure, right? So I think day one is what it is. You said I thought it was a good episode. Um, yeah, I mean, I uh, there's a lot of differences with this compared to the game, and this is of course I have to like try to like be a little disciplined with like my comparing and contrasting with the game because I'm trying to consume the TV version as its own product, as its own version. Like where I don't want to hold it too much against it if it's not following the game to the T. But there are some interesting things. Um, I think like one of the things that really. By the way, I love that it takes you to. Um, it takes you to the TV station, which is a thing in the game. Um, and it shows kind of an encounter with between Ellie, Dina, and the wolves. Obviously, they see. I think the Seraphites are hung, or is it the wolves that are hung from like the rafters of the TV station? I forget. But we all know it's just a bloody war that's going on. But yeah, they have to sneak around, and Ellie has to subdue one of them, and I think two of them she kills. So we're getting some like, okay, Ellie's killing people actively, making the conscious choice to, you know, that's good. You want to get this. You want to definitely make sure that that's being established because it's supposed to be kind of just like a complete hellscape revenge story she's going on where there's just going to be bodies at everyone's expense, at the expense of this. Um, Regardless if they deserve it or not, it was a kill or be killed situation. She said, "Nah, now I saw someone not liking the reveal of Ellie's condition. This was interesting to me. Um, of course, that's the moment where they get chased into kind of like the underground subway. section where it has that like red lighting. That's like that's a level from the game that I still one of my favorite levels sections from the game because it introduces like the clickers coming through and with the wolves hunting you, and you can kind of just like um like throw a bottle or something, and then they're both kind of just like fighting each other, and you just kind of have to avoid the chaos. um and they played that out very well. I remember like when I was watching that scene, I was like very edge of my seat because I remember the thrill of playing it. And I feel like they captured it really well. But of course, that scene following it is where in the game, what's it called? Ellie's gas mask breaks, and Dina goes to reach for her gas mask out of like selflessness, and love for or, like love for Ellie, basically to give her for her to give Ellie her gas mask in order to save her. But then Ellie has to kind of push her up against the wall and it's like, don't do it, and then that's how it's revealed that like like Ellie is immune, and that it would have been a fruitless, uh, pointless thing for Dina to sacrifice herself for something that Ellie could live through. Um, and in the game, they make it to the theater, and Dina's kind of just like disheveled, like what's going on. She's she's about to reveal she's pregnant too, but she's very exhausted, but also she's like very just like not buying Ellie's, because earlier in the game when they had like when they went to like Eugene's little weed stash area, uh, Ellie does say, I am immune or something, kind of like half-heartedly to kind of it almost seemed like a test for Dina, and Dina kind of just shrugged it off like she was just joking or something. But this time Ellie's saying like, no, I am immune, and in the scene in the game, Dina's kind of just like yeah, okay, like rolling her eyes like give me a break, like, or whatever. And then Ellie kind of has to kind of prove herself, and in that same moment Dina reveals her pregnancy. um the interesting difference here obviously is they get to the it was already established in season one that they weren't going to do spores, or at least right away, because I'm hearing rumblings that spores is going to be a thing later on in the series, but I can't confirm or deny. But they didn't. I remember they made like Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin made an active choice not to do spores in the first game or in the first season, which was a them basically like putting their foot down that this is the show being distinguished from the game, that they're going with a different direction. And that's where it kind of runs into a little bit of a snag here, because now we have to play it off Ellie's reveal of her immunity in a completely different way. And because of that, there are no spores, and she gets bitten at the turnstile. And this was, Dina sees this. It was a moment. Ellie sacrifices herself in order to make sure that Dina doesn't get bit. So it was cool for that to happen in that way. Um, but then it's just, I don't know. Like, I try not to compare too much to the game, but part of me was like, yes, the way Dina reacted to Ellie being bitten was completely realistic and exactly how I probably would expect her to react. It seemed like when she's drawing the gun on Ellie, trying, definitely making sure that Ellie keeps her distance, but Ellie's like, has to kind of like argue the point, like, no, I will not turn. This is real. Like, I am definitely immune. I'm not bullshitting you. This isn't the virus speaking or anything. Um, I think I think the both performances are great here. I think what Bella Ramsey and what Isabella Merced, I think is how you say her last name. She plays it very well because you can see in her head she's trying to like she hates the fact that this is happening, and she's almost kind and she like that she has that there are feelings for Ellie, like strong feelings, but she's kind of like working in her head like this is something I'm gonna have. This is an obstacle I'm gonna have to get over. If I have to shoot the person I love right now, this is what's gonna happen. Like Dina, definitely you can tell she's a survivor, and this is something that she's gonna have to do. And it was such a tough scene. Um, that said, there's something in the execution. I don't know if it's owed to. I think the performances are fine, but there's something about the execution of how when Ellie, okay, so they make it so that Ellie says, let me sleep through the night. I'll prove it to you, and you can stay over there, and uh, well, like just trust me, and whatever. And if you have to put me down, you can put me down. But this is like give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm telling you the truth right now, and that's what happens. And Dina still has her gun drawn when they both wake up, um, or I think Dina didn't even sleep really, and there's still just a moment of, I guess, I don't know. I guess the moment I really didn't care for was as soon as it's kind of clear that Ellie isn't turning, they kind of go from like 0 to 60, where it's like Dina has her gun drawn to uh they're like like that now Dina's lunging herself at Ellie to like make out and like you know uh go at it as it were. I felt like I understand the compulsion, like the impulse, I guess, but I don't know. I felt like it was a little hasty. I felt like the way it was executed was a little forced. When you compare it to the game, I can't help but feel that the game has so many beats, so many emotional beats that are happening all at once that make emotional sense and logical sense, and everything is very well executed. The show really is making me appreciate the game's execution as much as I am fine with the show. Um, but then there's another thing too, is that Ellie, I mean, Dina reveals her pregnancy to Ellie, and I know this has been going around as like a meme or like as kind of like Twitter, the 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 portion of like the audience that is just wanting to hate on Bella Ramsey or hate on the show are clinging to this moment where Ellie says, "Oh, I'm gonna be a dad," and for me, it's like it's a she's just joking, really. Does the joke land as I think what Neil or Craig how they intended it to? I don't know. Because even if you're in a homosexual relationship or what have you, it just seems like a very forced line of dialogue to say, especially because it, regardless of like their orientation or anything, she's assuming the relationship. It's like they've barely kind of like admitted their own feelings for each other. They've made it clear, but it's still developing. And all of a sudden, it's like you're going like 0 to 60, where it's like, oh, now we're a big happy family, like you, me, and Jesse. Like, I know that it's not to be taken so seriously that it's kind of just made as like a lighthearted joke, but I can see how that can how because even for me when I was watching in the moment, I was just like it didn't feel like it was written well that moment. Plus, in the game, when Ellie finds out that Dina's pregnant, she's very upset because she's jealous. Like it's like a gut punch for her. It's a gut punch for her in the moment where she's trying to make Dina feel better about her immunity, that this is real or whatever. It's almost like all that goes away as soon as she hears about Dina's pregnancy. It's like it's a lie that's been kept, or a secret that's been kept from Ellie, and Ellie feels a little betrayed in that moment. And I don't know if that played off well at all in the show. I feel like Ellie, there was no, I didn't get any like sense of like, because like Ellie in the game says, now you're a burden. Why didn't you tell us this sooner? Because Ellie's so gun ho about the revenge quest that she's like blinded by that. And I feel like all those mixed emotions, all those like little character beats are just done so much better in the game compared to here where it's like I know I'm not supposed to watch the show and be like expecting Bella to or the TV show Ellie to be upset in the same way because of how it plays in the game, but the beat like when you just have both of the versions in front of you, it's like wow, the game does do this better, I think. Let me see what you're saying because I know you said a lot of stuff. You said we went from The Last of Us to some teen drama. For like there is a lot of like relation relationship drama that goes on in the game, but to me it's all playing to a greater purpose and it's done very well. For me, I'm fine with like the character moments and the relationship. I'm fine with a teen drama, but for me it wasn't written very well in that moment where they're um it felt like they were trying to go for a joke where like she's pulling out the pregnancy test and she has lot of them and it's like I peed on all and it's like I think like I don't know like there was just a lot of like very not uh like what's the word prestige television writing in that scene for me at all. It did feel very like I was watching something on I don't know. It felt what's that network that it felt like Degrassi for like it just didn't feel like you said like a teen drama, but it felt just not I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was written as strongly as I would have hoped. And plus, and then you hear on the radio that there's these they hear the radio from the wolves or whatever, and it's like all of a sudden now Ellie's running out to go hear the radio or something. It's like I can't get in her headspace of how of what her priorities are here. Like it just seems like she goes from like happy go lucky with this to going back on the like being gun ho about avenging Joel. It's like whereas in the game there is a sense of very like a lot of like drabness and Ellie's very um she's just trying to keep it together and there's just something about the way Ashley Johnson plays uh, Ashley Johnson and the actress who played Dina. There's just something the chemistry again. It's just like I don't know. It felt a little messy here, but it's not bad. Like I don't. My criticisms are my own criticisms. It's not what other people aren't liking the episode or that moment for. It's more in bad faith because everyone just wants an excuse to hate on the actress or the show. This is just me coming, just trying to be as real as I can. Where it's like, because I want to like it. Um, but yeah, it just seemed a little all over the place for me. But for the most part, it gets through day one, and that's very interesting. And I think it overall they did a good job with. Oh, and by the way, Josh Peck from Drake and Josh or Amanda Show or you know very uh, Nickelodeon alumni here, like playing as one of the Fedra officers in the cold open. That was pretty. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Josh Peck in like in the modern era, like I don't know. He seems a little full of himself sometimes whenever I see interviews with him. But I enjoyed that little cameo there of how he's just playing this like asshole Fedra officer, and we're introduced to Isaac. Isaac's played by the same actor as the one in the game, and and yeah, interesting introduction to Isaac here because we really learn about Isaac more before we're introduced to him more through environmental storytelling with like the any notes we can find or any like little letters that are found as collectibles, and then we're introduced to Isaac once we're following like Abby's journey. So it was nice to see like how they're kind of telling this story without because obviously they can't just have the same form of environmental storytelling in a television show. They can't just stop and I mean they can have moments where there could be a piece of paper to read and we can pause and read it, but I don't think that's what they're like. I like how they're going about it a little different way. Um, but yeah, you said yeah, that's a very Ellie thing to say. I said I can't lie, I miss Joel. I imagine we're going to see some more of Joel soon. I mean, because there's supposed to be flashbacks. Like I said, the second game without Joel is still very much about Joel. It's just being a story being told without the character having to live in the present time. But you said Disney Channel. They got Josh from Drake and Josh in the show. Yep. Um, yeah. Overall, not the strongest episode. I think I like the third episode the most so far. The second episode is just a little. The second episode is such a high pedestal moment in the story for me that it's like very hard to live up to what the game did for me. But I still respect it a lot. And then the first episode, I think I really like the first episode. I'm liking it so far. Oh yeah, Take on Me. You're right. A moment in the game that you can completely miss, by the way, if you're just going mainlining the story. But I like credit to Bella Ramsey who like pulled out the performance chops here to play guitar and sing the song. You know, it's always cool when actors have to play a version of themselves where they have to sing and be good enough for like the entertainment purposes, but also be not like a professional singer. Like it comes more from like their soul than their actual talent of singing, and that's what got across there. I think she did a very good job there. Um, and and just that look on Dina's face as she's watching, like that was done well too. They're doing good work. It's just the trappings of an adaptation. There's a lot of pitfalls to fall into, and I know that can be rough. And like I said, with the whole thing with like Dina uh, revealing her pregnancy and Ellie having to prove herself with her immunity, that it it was like I had to kind of like very much compartmentalize that this is the show version, and it might not play out the same way, and it might not play out in the best way, but for the most part, the little moments in between I think are good. He said also yes, and yeah, I really like the second episode. The second episode, like, oh, by the way, I like so now that they're calling this one Day One. I'm guessing I don't know. I haven't seen the episode list if it's been revealed, but I'm guessing the next episode's called Day Two, and then the next episode will be called Day Three. And if that's the case, because right now we're in the fourth, that was the fourth episode. The fifth episode will be Day Two. The sixth episode will be Day Three. Just this is just in theory. Then the seventh episode, what is that? Is that like the clash between Ellie and Abby episode where Abby comes back into the picture, and then the next season or so is gonna be like, are they gonna go back again and do day one, day two, day three with Caitlin Devers Abby? I wonder if that's how they're structuring it. Because for the most part, I was like, okay, because the Last of Us Part Two is a long game, but for the most part, I was satisfied with how they handled day one. I'm sure there's a lot that's missing. I'm sure obviously there's a lot more gameplay related stuff in the game that can probably be cut. But for the most part, I think they did it fine. Um, and yeah, I guess that's all I can really say. Uh, let's try to see what we can do here. We'll go for the first one. If I think of anything else, I'll definitely chime in if I. But yeah, overall, liked it. Wasn't a fan of some parts of it, but it was fine. Let's see what I got. Hunted begins. I guess they're gonna keep coming at us, so that's not. I hope you're excited for May 2026. I am.
You're here.
Oh god. Okay, it's humans. Oh shit.
You're fucking dead.
Uh, this daily run's not good. Good. Alright, I wasn't a fan of this daily run anyway, so let's just get back into it. But yeah, May 26th, so GTA 6 has been delayed once again. It was slated for the fall of this year. But apparently they need more time. You know what? I'm of two minds. Let them cook. If they need more time, let them cook. Because I think the delay, what they said was because they want to kind of relieve the crunch that they're probably going through right now. I'm pretty sure whatever they're working on at this point is just polishing the game and just trying to make the best possible version they can for launch. I'm all about that. Um, it is another year. Yes. At the same time, this year is pretty damn stacked so far. Um, one thing because I already have what Death Stranding 2 June at the end of June. I have on July 11th. I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4. Then I have Ghost of Yotei in October, and hoping for a physical version of this. But the Gears of War, the first game is being Gears of War Reloaded. It's being remade, and and PlayStation users are going to be able to play it. I'm hoping for a physical version. That's a game that I think I'll pick up. Uh, because it's a game I used to play at friends' houses, or at my friend's house, or my neighbor's house when I was a kid. I think when that game came out, I was like 16. Um, Gears on PlayStation, yeah, like that's gonna be something else. And I'm just wondering, it's like, what else? Like, I feel like 2025, it's like we haven't even heard what else is in store. Who knows when Spyro's coming out? If which we pretty much can assume is the next Toys for Bob game. What other things could be announced like in the summer that because I didn't even know about Astrobot last year until like the middle of the summer, right? What other games can be? There's other games rumored to be announced. I feel like, and also just for me personally, there's a lot of television shows that I've been very much either catching up on or am getting prepared for that I'm very much willing to get into. Let me see what you're saying. You said, oh yes, Gears on PlayStation. That's hype. And all we need is Halo. Then life is complete. Because basically what they have so far is Forza, and now Gears, and then Halo would be like the because those are like the three pillars of Xbox basically. Obviously we there's games like Indiana Jones that just came out that was supposed to be an Xbox exclusive, and there's a lot of Xbox exclusive games that are just coming on over to the point where it's like I feel like a kid in a candy store because there's just a whole library of games that are just coming over that I've just never even bothered to like I never had a chance to play or it's like some games there's so many games that it's like I have room for games to be like nah I don't even want to play like I'll just wait for like for like a sale or something on that game or whatever now and also this could give me some breathing room to play Marathon which is supposed to be coming out later this year in the fall. uh there's a lot of games compared like I'm looking at the games I've been getting every year. I think this year is going to be the year that's the most games in the PS5 generation for me. um You said if I do get a Switch 2, I have Mario Kart and Donkey Kong to get. Exactly. There's a lot like there's an explosion right now in the gaming industry when it comes to what they're giving us. And I don't feel I feel like it's a train that's not in it has no intention to stop at because I feel like we're in for some announcements coming up. And by the way, I'm doing this broadcast right now when they've revealed more like hands-on footage of Death Stranding 2 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4. Right now, like I think in 30 minutes there's supposed to be an event for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 plus 4, but I'll just catch it after this. And there's all like today they announced like a third wave of the soundtrack. A lot of reviewers or a lot of like media or like a lot of YouTubers and media outlets are getting like hands-on impressions and they're showing video and full like stuff I haven't even had a chance to even look at yet. So like I'm just like overjoyed right now with like how much stuff they're offering. Um, but yeah, GTA 6. I saw that second trailer. The trailer has 475 million plus viewers, which is like a world record for YouTube trailers, apparently. I think like the second best was like some Marvel movie trailer that was like 300 million. Um, that the second trailer we got for GTA 6 looks awesome. I can't believe it's all in game. It's so incredible to me. Um, it captured on a base PS5. And the world's gonna explode when GTA 6 drops. Absolutely, dude. This game has a budget of $2 billion. Like just for like comparison.
Okay.
Just for comparison, like The Last of Us Part 2 is a budget of 300 million. The Horizon game, or the latest Horizon game, 300 million. Spider-Man 2, around 300 million, between like 200 and 300 million. That's what a AAA big budget, great, these great quality games are the budgets for. So $2 billion. What can like? Are we about to see some stuff in this game that gamers have just never even conceived of? Like the depth and like the layers in the open world, like how extensive it will be. She must be nearby. Next wave, next wave. But yeah, it looks amazing. I like that we're getting more of a look at the Jason Duval is the male protagonist, and we learn more about Lucia Cuminos, and kind of like that Bonnie and Clyde relationship they're gonna have. Yeah, the game looks so good. The presentation, everything looks so on point. Am I supposed to do something with these? I don't know. You said I really like this Bonnie and Clyde approach. I think it's great. I don't know what people were complaining about when they were like, "Oh, there's gonna be a female protagonist. That sucks." Like, come on, this is awesome. I can't wait to learn more about like, you know, I'm just so psyched for this. And by the way, the one of the voice actors in the opening scene was Stephen Root, who you might know from King of the Hill as Bill Dauterive. But Stephen Root's also known for like Barry and Office Space. Yikes. Stephen Root is awesome. Like every role he's ever been in, news radio, great guest spot on Fringe. Awesome actor. I love Stephen Root. You said I've heard Roger Craig Smith Sonic was one of the voice actors. Ah, okay. At first I thought you were gonna say Roger Clark, who I think is like the Arthur Morgan character from Red Dead Redemption 2. But I think he said it's confirmed that he is not playing Jason. A lot of people thought he was playing Jason. But yeah, that's cool. I only have a pistol, and I only have one bullet. Does he suspect me?
Hurry! She's down!
Shit.
Joshua!
Joshua.
You're mine!
Oh! That felt satisfying.
Holy shit.
Get as much ammo as I can here. You said I wouldn't be surprised if Clark was in the game. Yeah, at some as some form of like, you know, cameo or something. I could see that. I showed it to my sister. Like, I don't usually show video game trailers to my sister, but we played Vice City back in the day and like GTA 5, and it's been like 12 to 13 years since GTA 5 now. Or at least it will be 13 years, I think, by the time this comes out. So it's like, it's almost like I had a reminder what these games are, you know, because I know she loved them. Because they're just a hell, you know, even without the story, they're just a hell lot of fun to just mess around with. Complete 15 gambits. Cool. You said I was 9 when GTA 5 came out. I can't imagine, like, and I'm guessing, I don't know, like if you were allowed to play back then at that age. I didn't get Vice City until I was 13. When that game came out in 2002 or 2000, yeah, it came out in 2002. So I got Vice City like a year later, or no, not a year. Yeah, oh yeah, because it came out the end of 2002. So I was able to play. Yeah, when I turned 13, I got my 13th birthday. You said I wasn't. You're good. I don't. That's good parenting. Yeah, I think my first like mature rated game was like SOCOM, because at least that wasn't like gratuitous with its violence. It was more like a, you know, military shooter. And even like compared to Call of Duty, it was more like just trying to be like more of a tactical sim or type game. What could I do? What's this? Long gun holster. Can get that. And then I You can always craft first aid kits, so let's just get the revolver. But yeah, that was a cool trailer to see. Let's see what we got here. Improve Molotovs or craft silencers. I'll take a silencer. And what else do we have? Listen mode movement and then improved silencers. Okay, now I'll do improved Molotovs. Cool. But yeah, what else? What else is there to say for it? I'm just excited to play it. It sucks that it's going to be so far out, but there's a lot to unpack in that trailer too. You know, you're seeing a lot more of the cars, a lot more of the world. I like how they revealed it with, like, you know, Jason was like working on the roof, and he's asked like, "What are you doing up there?" And he's just fixing some leaks. And a lot of people on like Twitter kind of like drew the drew like that it's like a little bit of a nod to, like, you know, the leaks that happen with the game itself. So Jason's fixing the leaks, or you know, but it was cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah, Gears is something I'm going to keep my eye on. The Gears of War Reloaded. I'm hoping, because of, unfortunately, Xbox hasn't been really allowing there to be physical editions on PlayStation 5. Forza doesn't have a PS5 or a physical release. I think Indiana Jones does. But I could see them pulling a fast one and not giving us a physical edition. Although in the advertisement for it, it showed like that there's a digital deluxe edition if you pre-order or something. And for there to be an edition, you would think that like a digital edition, that means that there has to be another edition which would be there for physical. So I'm hoping that's the case. Because that's a game I would like. I've never played like the story of Gears of War. I kind of just played like the online, co-op online and all that. And it looks like they're going to be supporting like cooperative play, and it looks like online's going to be a thing again too. And it's cross-play, which is awesome. Like, if you're going to like redo these games, give us the online. It would be cool if like Halo comes out, we can play online with like Xbox players or PC players. Alright, let's get back into it. We'll do... Where are we? We did that one. We did this one. Unknown. I mean, we didn't do this one. Unknown or the gas station? I'll take the gas station. I feel like I get through the gas station most of the time. I don't know. The unknown just scares... It's just too scary for me. But yeah, what else can I say that I have? Oh, the only game I've been playing still is I'm almost done with my third run of South Park Stick of Truth. I have like 3 more trophies to get, and I'll be able to get the platinum. I'm like in the end game, and I pretty much am on track to get the platinum, but I don't have it yet. So yeah, it's cool that I was able to do that, though. I'm glad that I like it when you can see the platinum in sight, that it's becoming clear that you're about to earn it, and that's, you know, it's not an impossibility anymore. Where are these people? Safe lock. Oh, I get to get to the safe lock in time. I'd like to get to the safe lock for the first time, but I probably can't.
Nothing over here.
Where is she hiding?
I don't know where these people are, by the way. I hear them, but I don't know where they are. And I'm guessing that's a safe over there, so let's see what I can do. There's one person. They're all pretty much guarding that safe. I think if I want to do this, I need to go guns. I need to go hot and heavy here.
Does anyone see her? Where the fuck did she go, guys? Nothing here.
Too many people.
Any sign of her?
All clear here.
She'd better be gone. Check it out. Got her!
Don't let her get away!
Get in. I think I have his sights on me like that.
Omar! She's there! Take her! She's pinned down! She's gone!
Okay. Oh, it's 9 seconds. Oh well, at least I got through the encounter.
Got you now!
So they won't let me get to this. Okay, whatever. At least I got closer to it this time. Alright. Alright, so I guess we'll start with our top 20 Desert Island games. We can probably get through a couple. How'd I do? B. Do you have a list right? Not top 20. I'm sorry, a top 10 2020s 2020s games. Not top 20. Top 10. I'm assuming you have somewhat of a list so far, right? Because if you're not ready, it's perfectly okay. You said I do have a list. I have some bangers on here. By the way, I want to say I'm imagining that this list will have more overlap between me and you because we're only covering the first half of the 2020s. So there's so many great games. I feel I'm just assuming that we've played less games obviously than we would have if we had a full decade at our disposal. But yeah, I guess we'll start. I'll start off. What do I have here? For my number 10, I'm gonna go with Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2. This generation is like, it was the generation of the live service push. Jim Ryan really wanted there to throw as much games he could against the wall and see what stuck. Helldivers 2 was a game when it was announced that I was like, okay, I like the idea of this. The first game was more of a top-down game of the same spirit, but this is taking it from a third-person perspective. It's still squad-based and it's cooperative, and you have to get to the extraction and try to get as much done as you can, or get through the main objectives and do some side objectives, and then try to get it out with your best haul or your best score. This whole game is completely new to me, in terms of IP and also in terms of the style of multiplayer game. Out of all the games, that there's a lot of live service games that are going to be pushed forward, and this is one of those games I'm glad that I'm glad that I bit the bullet and played, because it's an addicting game. It's a game I still return to every now and then. New upgrade branch precision. Okay. And overall, it was just so much fun. I love the randomness that can occur. I love the sense of humor it has, where you're doing all this for Super Earth, and it takes a lot of satire and like being like patriotic and like and fighting for your country or your planet, as it were, and that you're completely expendable. Like you can complete the mission and not extract, and you would still complete the mission because the powers that be that are putting you out there to complete this mission, they don't care about your well-being. They just want their cause to be furthered, or whatever propaganda or whatever um, silly idealism that they want to tell the people back home. They just want that to be a success. And I like that the game has a sense of humor with that, where it's like you don't even need to extract to complete the mission. You want to extract as a player because you want to bring back your samples and start working on your ship and all that. But that's where kind of like the individual versus the many becomes kind of a theme, or like for the greater good becomes a theme. And I just like how they play around with that and the absurdity of you know all for one and one for all type mentality and all that. You said how I haven't played the game. I've played this game for a little bit. I had some decent fun with people online. I remember you saying that you were having trouble always getting with a group that were consistently playing at all. You said, however, I did get carried most of the time. Well, yeah, that's when you first started. You're definitely like being carried. That's how it was for me too. Obviously, when I started playing, I was one of the first players playing, so we were all kind of new to it. But in my experience, whenever I have a low level person on my team who's playing the game for the first time, pretty much we carry that person. And I don't know. I like the camaraderie that is created with this game because every person I've come across on this game, everyone's cool. Like it's not like when you play Call of Duty and it's a bunch of screaming like 10-year-olds on the mic, or people like cursing you out or saying like like racist or like just like saying like racist slurs or whatever, and just like just taking it to that next level where it's just so very toxic. I don't feel that with Helldivers, and maybe it's because everyone's supposed to be working together. Um, Maybe it's because it's not PvP or whatever, but I just like my experience with random people. I also like that this is the era where crossplay is a thing now, and it's like almost a given for a lot of these big multiplayer games, and like it's one of the rare games I finally get to play with my PC friends, like people I grew up with. I like how we're in as much as the live service push is a little daunting in this era. I do like how we can play with people we can connect and play in ways we never could. And Helldivers 2 is really cool with that. Overall, I just love the gameplay loop of it. It's a lot of fun. I just love that the creatures are always closing in on you. It's almost like a nod to Starship Troopers, and or it pretty much is like a direct nod to Starship Troopers. Definitely inspired by. And then it's just cool to like the gameplay loop and like the ragdoll physics, like how there's like friendly fire is like mandatory, so like all this funny stuff can happen in the game, and you just having to manage your respawns and all that. It's a lot of fun to me. You said, oh yes, that did happen to me. You said I need to invest more time in this game. You said Helldivers is chill. Exactly. Like Helldivers is a game that even if I'm not exactly cooperating with the rest of the team, I can kind of like just kick back and play. A few times I would listen to a podcast or something if I was, and it was a game like I'm surprised I was able to platinum this game, by the way, because it required a lot of cooperation from with certain trophies, a lot of cooperation from random people that actually helped me get the trophy, which is such a cool experience to be had. I think where random because it just brings me back to like the older games I used to play online, or even like something like say like the first game I got for PS4, which was Killzone Shadowfall. I remember when I got the hardest multiplayer trophy. I finally got it. I announced it to just random people that were in the lobby, and they all congratulated me because they all were just like, "That's awesome, dude! Like, you know, like we all know how hard that trophy is." Like, and it's like they had no reason to give a crap that I got this trophy, but there's a community, there's a sense of community with games like this where it's like everyone's kind of just like on board to help you out, or you know, to give you your flowers if you made such an achievement. But yeah. Overall, yeah. I mean, what else can I say? It came out last year, February. Uh, Definitely an important game last year for me, and still a game I'm playing. I like that they brought a crossover with Killzone in it, and I was able to grind for some of those collectibles and get like a Hellgast outfit basically that I can play going forward with. At some point, Palpo, we should play that game. Like, it's like with all the games that are coming out though, I'm so like we're all so preoccupied with all of them, and we're busy and stuff. But if the planets ever align, I definitely play that with you. But yeah, that's my number 10, I'd say. You said hell yeah, and I guess we'll craft the silencer and let's get better healing. Oh, what do we have here? Aim stability increase. I want to get better. Anything with better health is always good. And what's the last one? Endure. Otherwise, lethal damage will instead leave you at low health, giving you an opportunity to escape. Okay, so we don't need that right now. Aim ability increase. Okay, so yeah, if you want to give your number 10, feel free. We'll do aim ability increase. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, I guess this is the only one I can do, the shipping yard. You said number 10, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. When did this game... Okay, this game came out for the Switch, I'm guessing, right? I mean, obviously, because it's a hybrid of handheld and console. Oh, there's thick fog. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's interesting. The only Kirby game I ever played, or the two Kirby games I played back in the day, is Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Awesome games. I love those games. How would you describe Kirby and the Forgotten Land? Ooh. I think I'm just gonna play King of the Hill on this thing. There's one more. Oh god, that guy doesn't sound... You said it's the first... I should use this thing. Okay, he died on his own. I should probably collect as much as I can. Sorry, you said it's the first Kirby game in history to be in 3D. Ah. So how does it play? Is it open world, or is it like a more linear thing like Crash would be? I'm guessing it's more open world, maybe like a Spyro type open world, I'm guessing, right? Alright, these guys are coming through. You say it's linear, but the levels are large and open. Okay, so I'm guessing more like a Spyro. We got stalkers. I should put traps down. Mixed bag trophy. I don't know what that trophy is, but I got it. Please let that be the end. Oh my god, I have another wave. Hold on, I'll get to your stuff in a second. I have no health. I basically have to craft health if I can. Do I have? I don't have a trap either. Goddamn. All right, get some more health. Oh no, I'm done for. This is it. It's over. No. Oh my god. I of course went to a dead end. You said I feel like Kirby deserves some love. Yeah. My favorite level is the one where you can explore an abandoned mole. Oh, okay. There's a new mechanic called Mouthful where you can inhale large objects like car and vending machine, and you can take control of them. Okay, so you're inhaling them, but I'm guessing like when you inhale them, it's kind of similar to like when you inhale like Smash characters, like when you're playing Smash, and you can kind of like adopt their abilities. So I'm guessing when you inhale these vehicles, then you're basically becoming the vehicle in a way, and it's kind of like has its own like controls and everything, and moves and the way it moves around and everything. That's cool. Kirby in the Forgotten Land. That's cool. Again, it's like this is a game I definitely would play if I had access to it. Because I always enjoyed the Kirby games. Like Kirby's Dream Land, I played that game multiple times back in the day. And Kirby Tilt and Tumble was also as much as of a gimmick that was, because you're using like motion controls with the Game Boy Color. It was very well done, and the game design and gameplay was just very very good. Like the gimmick complemented the gameplay very well. But yeah, okay, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. How's the music, by the way? I'm guessing. Does it have like the familiar soundtrack that you expect from Kirby, or is there like new music that kind of like captures the spirit of Kirby? You said, yeah, the soundtrack is great. It sounds like Kirby music. Nice. I guess we're gonna... Okay, so before when we were doing the daily run, we played as Manny, but he was locked. But I guess when you do the daily run, they unlock it for just the daily run. I wonder if I should just play as Jesse and try to get Tommy. See, and yeah, so that's cool. And I don't think Switch has like trophies, right? So it's kind of just like you beat it, and you kind of have to any like completion of like 100% is just within the game itself. Did you manage to achieve that in any way, like 100%, or is there like a collectible in the game? You say, but yeah, that's my number 10. I love the 3D music levels and everything. I feel like Kirby is long overdue for a 3D game, so it's cool that they finally did one. That's awesome. Yeah. You said, nah, I just beat the game and moved on. Okay, nice. By the way, how do you feel that Switch 2 isn't going to have trophies? Like, or any sense of, like, achievement system? I remember that being kind of like a stick in a lot of people's craws, where a point of criticism. But again, it's like if you're in that ecosystem, you're in it for the ecosystem. You'll. It's like it will be like trophies or an achievement system will be cool, but I don't think I think a lot of the Nintendo fan base just are in it for the game itself. Like they don't need the meta game, per se. So you said I can't really say I'm surprised. Yeah, it's still something and I don't know, like with Switch 2 coming out, and there's supposed to be this like there was like a leak of like a Microsoft Xbox handheld, and I'm hearing rumors that Sony's working on one too. With the Steam Deck and the success of the Steam Deck, I'm wondering if like a console hybrid or even a handheld it's like coming back, or like basically Nintendo like pioneered the way to make the console handheld collaboration work, and now maybe we'll start to see the other companies start to like mimic that, or recapture that success. Because I heard that even though like the what is it, the PlayStation Portal, it's like you have to like you're basically like streaming the games you have from your PS5 onto and you need to be within range or something. But I heard actually like is actually a very good product in terms of just that.
Quick and clean.
Oh.
Damn it.
They got Johnny.
Better run, friend. What?
Batter up. Alright, so I guess I mean, if you have anything else to say, you said that's your number 10, right? So I guess that's your signal to move on. Okay. Good number 10 so far, I'd say. I'm glad that there's not, that, you're bringing, that game obviously is not on my top 10 list, because I've never played it. So I like I like that you're bringing some variety into these lists, compared to mine. I guess, what will I say? Oh yeah, my number 9. My number 9, I'm gonna go with, and I have my list, so when I say I'm gonna go with, I already have the list written out, but I'm going with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This game was probably one of the first games of the PS5 generation that proved why it was important to have a PS5 and what the PS5 was capable of. With the SSD, the solid state drive, being able to warp to other areas very quickly. Oh. Jesse. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is a game that I felt like I needed to earn my way to it by playing the Trilogy Collection on PS3 of the first 3 games from PS2, which I never played all in full, if at all. The only Ratchet game I ever had was Ratchet and Clank All for One, which is, I know, like, not the Ratchet game you want to start with. Because it's more of like a party, not a party game, but more of a co-op focused game. But I'm glad that I got to play the original 3, which I still have not platinum because there's a lot of grinding to be done. But with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, there's just it felt like they took the grinding away. Like I didn't need to do New Game Plus necessarily. Which was honestly a little bit of a letdown because I loved the gameplay so much that I wanted a reason to keep playing. But you know that's not something I can hold. If I want to play the game again, I'll obviously just play the game again. But it's a game I platinumed. It's a game I really liked. I like how they introduced Rivet. The world is gorgeous. Every level, the planets you explore, it's awesome. I love the puzzles. Everything about that game, like it's definitely one of my favorite platformers. I think, especially of the modern era. Like it holds its own completely. And there's just so much going for it. When I was playing it, I was like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm playing an Insomniac platformer game right now. Obviously Ratchet, but I'm like playing it and I'm like, I feel like I'm a little kid again playing like the Spyro games. Like the Collectathon and, you know, just like the whimsical worlds and all that. Like, it brought me back while also being like, you know, new and fresh in how it presented itself. I liked it, like it had a little bit of an open world aspect that was more expansive than past games, I think. I believe. And you said I feel like a little kid playing Ratchet on the PSP. Yeah. That would be cool to play. That it would definitely make for a great handheld game to play. Oh, I just took the hood off that thing. Okay, I'm satisfied with that run. You said the whole dimension jumping is awesome. I don't know if it's my favorite Ratchet game, but it's up there. I still think, for me personally, I really like Up Your Arsenal, the third game of the first of like the original trilogy. I think I like the third game the most. What I like about the third game the most, I think, is that there's elements of it that kind of remind me of like the Halo series, in that it's like those missions where you're like in a big open area and you have to like combat all these enemies that are coming at you from all different directions, and you kind of have to just like strategize the best way to go about it. It felt very like the way Halo would throw their characters at you a lot, especially in like the later levels. Yeah, Rift Apart, it's definitely one of those games that I'm glad that I picked up. I easily could have. I remember when what was it, Ratchet and Clank, like the remaster or the remake came out in 2016, I think. I remember like seeing like is it the Gaming Brit YouTube user or content creator. He has like an hour long video about how that remake is like just like a crock, and like compared to the original game, because they make it so that Ratchet and Clank are very friendly with each other from the start. Whereas the first game, you know, Ratchet's very, very mean to Clank, and their relationship has to kind of like develop. I want to see how the relationship develops. I want to see how they earn their relationship. I don't want to see them be this like serial poster mascot version of them where it's like they have to be in love with each other or like super friends or whatever from the get-go. I remember that kind of turning me off a bit in All for One and how they were acting. it's like I felt no like character chemistry. Whereas with the first three games, I really liked the character chemistry. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, it's like at this point their relationship is established. So and because they're able to tell stories in a more dynamic way now with like modern graphics and everything, they they I feel like Insomniac took it to the next level, especially with their experience with like Spider-Man and all, or like Resistance and having done these like more mature games. They're getting better at the craft of story and with character play. And they always were good at character play. Even going back all the way to Spyro games with like the creatures you would talk to in like Avalar or what have you. Um, but there's something that just works that very much jives with me in Rift Apart. And yeah, just for the most part, I'm just like I'm totally down with it. Everything about it was great. I remember there was a moment too where it was like one of the final boss battles, and
Hmm.
I fell off this cliff or whatever platform I was supposed to be standing on, but I managed to like fall on a piece of the level that I wasn't supposed to be on at all. Yet the game didn't disqualify me for that. It allowed me to continue on with the boss, even though it was making it more, I guess, a little bit more difficult for me and a little bit more difficult for the boss to reach me. I remember it was just such a random like weird video game moment, but it felt like imaginative. It felt like it was feeding my imagination that this is what's happening. This is what's happening in my version of the story, where it's like I fell off the platform and um, I get to finish off the boss fight from a platform that I probably shouldn't even be on. That the game probably has no intention for me to be on. But at the same time, I feel like the game, because it wasn't the first time that happened to me, especially in the open world area, where I remember I was climbing on platforms that really weren't supposed to be climbed on, and that took me back to like the PS2 era, that like sense of like exploration where it's like you can go anywhere you want, and maybe you shouldn't be on a certain a platform or area that's intended, but the game's not going to like hold that against you. And I like that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart offered me that experience. I don't know if you had that similar experience with that, but I remember there were moments where I was like on top of things, or things happened that I don't think were supposed to go as it should have happened, or I don't think it was supposed to play out the way it should have. But it didn't take away from the experience. It didn't feel like I fell into a glitch or anything. It felt like it almost felt like Insomniac built parts of the world that are just that could just be uh, accessed if you wanted to, like like if you just like set your heart in a certain direction, or on a certain like obstacle or something. I don't know. It's something about it that was just very uh, it lent itself to the imagination, I'd say. You said I feel like a little. You said, and those graphics, amazing. I'm glad Ratchet and Clank is still standing after all these years. And we know from the leaks that they are planning to do another Ratchet and Clank game down the line. I like that it's not going to be every year or like every couple years or so. It's going to be like maybe like one per generation. I'll take it. I wish we can get that for like Jack or any of these other games that we love. And you said the Rhino, awesome. Summoning PS characters from another dimension is cool. I like that too. That was really awesome. That was a really great taking advantage of that mechanic and doing it in a very in a very good fan service way. That was really fun. And you said, oh, that 2016 game. A problem with that game is heavily based on the movie, which wasn't that good in the first place. Right? Wasn't it like almost like tied in a way to that game? I remember that yeah, I remember that movie kind of was average at best. I heard from what I've heard. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a lot of fun. I have to admit, I don't remember a lot of the story anymore. It was back in 2021 we got to play it. Obviously, I know that we were introduced to Rivet, And oh yeah, that there's they swap Clank with Rivet, and Rivet's companion gets gets thrown into the mix with Ratchet. And I know Doctor Nefarious is the boss, but there's a lot of beats to that game that I kind of forgot about the story at this point. Like it's kind of like fuzzy in my head, and it's almost like I like that. I like that I can go back to the game and I'll kind of have another. I'll relive it again in a way, or remember it. I think traps are important. I have to know. I have to start putting more traps down. And what is this? Shiv recipe? It's fine. Health. Let's get some more health in the mix. But yeah, that's my number 9. I don't think I have much else to say, but it's really like, what a great early PS5 game to hold us. Because the beginning of PS5, it was very in that year too, especially with 2021. There wasn't much to. That was offered for us in terms of just like the real games that it's like this is why I bought a PS5. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's my number 9. And yeah, feel free to go into your number 9 now. I could do the hardware store or Overlook. I like the idea that we get Dina in the hardware store. Your number 9 is Psychonauts 2. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is an Xbox game, right? Psychonauts belongs to like Xbox or Microsoft. Oh, we've never been to the hardware store on No Return. This is going to be interesting.
All right, let's stay focused.
I feel like for this first wave...
Heads up!
Okay, I think Dina can take on this one person. Oh, there's
fucker.
3 people. Oh, we're being hunted.
Stalker! To the left!
Psychonauts 2. I don't have any experience with this game at all, but I've heard good things. I'm seeing a stalker over here. Nice. Good work, Dina. Good work. Okay, we made it. Sorry, yeah, yes, but there is a PS4 version of the game. I'll explain. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know the genre of Psychonauts. Is it like a platformer? Is it a... I'm guessing it's an adventure game of some, in some sense, right? Psychonauts 2. When did this game come out? You said it's a really cool 3D platformer. Okay. Interesting. I've never played the first one either, obviously. When did the first one come out? 2021. So 2021 is when Psychonauts 2 came out. Okay.
A lot of weird stuff here.
Is it... what is it like? Would you say it's like the length of like a Ratchet and Clank or a Crash game or any really? I feel like for the most part, platformers are relatively maybe like a 15-hour game type game, or I don't know, like maybe even 30 hours. I'm not sure compared to like modern ones. You said the first one came 2005. Wow, that's a big gap. Uh, that's cool. That so I guess Microsoft brought it back. From being dormant after all that time. It's cool. Craft incendiary shells. That would be awesome if I could do that. I require the double barrel shotgun. Let's see if I can get a double barrel shotgun. No, I can't. Oh, I get a lot of coins. That's cool. Melee upgrade recipe. Military pistol. Hunting pistol. You said the levels in this game has you entering people's minds to solve their mental health issues. That's a concept. That's pretty cool. I guess Psychonauts. And now that makes sense now. Honestly, like whenever I hear Psychonauts, I don't know any context to this game at all. I'm completely new to it, but that's interesting. I'm guessing it's almost like a what's that Pixar film? Is it Inside Out? Is it sort of like that where it's like the impact or I guess that's a different concept because that's more of like the different personalities that are within someone that are characters, whereas Psychonaut is someone who's like you said, is entering the person's mind and then them trying to resolve their issue. That's kind of cool. And a game like that can really make you think of, like, whatever you're going through, whatever problems you might be having. It's not just this, like, easy fix, Like, I feel like games, to me, especially platforming games, is going all the way back to Crash Bandicoot. For me, it was always problem solving. It was working through obstacles to get to a certain solution or to get to another endpoint or conclusion. That's basically what working out your own inner problems are. So I like the concept that they're incorporating what I always thought of. Platforming was always for me problem solving, and doing that in a way that's very clever and unique. Military pistol ammo, I guess I'll get that since I don't have anything else. You said, I guess I'll get this too, this melee upgrade. You said, for example, there's a character that has a gambling addiction, so the level is a casino. Ah, okay. I like that. It's almost similar to, I guess, I've never played It Takes Two, but that's supposed to be like about like a divorced couple working together to get to a certain point or become whole again or in some sense. I like a game like this that's taking that kind of like a real world psychological concept and turning into a game. I actually like that. I'm actually intrigued now. I must say. I guess I'll get improved pipe bombs. That seems to be the thing Jesse does. And you said another one has an alcohol addiction, so the level is based on empty bottles in the sea. Because it's just like, drinking your miseries away, like it's just like an endless sea of, like there's no, yeah, I like that. I like how there's kind of like I like the metaphor of that. I guess I'll do you. Stability, recall, capacity. Capacity would be nice. You said the combat is cool. You get PS1 powers like fire and shooting. PSI is it PS1 or PSI powers? Like fire and shooting. My only problem is there's no strafing. So strafing is kind of no strafing is kind of a hindrance on the gameplay, you'd say? PSI. Recoil. Guess we'll do recoil. It's interesting. I'm guessing you like the sequel compared to the first game? You said it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's just something, I guess, like a quality of life thing that you just wish was that could be improved. Do you think there's going to be a third game? Or is there a third game that I'm not even aware of? You said I've never played the first game. Ah. So you went to the second game. Did you feel like you were missing out on anything, or was it? Because like I'll admit, like when I think I've said it before. My first Crash game was Crash 2. I had no context of the first game at all, but I remember playing the second game and really loving it through that lens. I don't know if that's maybe what's similar to the second game for Psychonauts for you, or maybe they just can stand alone. They just are better at standing alone, where you don't necessarily need to know what's going on or the concept right away. He said, "No, I don't feel like I missed out." Would you buy a third game if it came out? All right, I got 2 minutes. I'm being hunted, and they're bringing more and more people in. It looks like. They keep adding more people to the. There's 3 people. There's 4 people. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh man! No return mode is like you can die at any second. You said I never played the first game, and no, I don't feel like heck yeah. You said Jack Black voices the PSI King, and yes, he has a musical number. Let me guess, they're gonna make a Psychonauts movie, and people are gonna be throwing their popcorn and everything when Jack Black shows up. When he, he puts the crown on or something or whatever. It's gonna be like the Minecraft movie. Jack Black is in everything, man. He's in Tony Hawk. I'm wondering if he's gonna be in the upcoming Tony Hawk remake, because he was Officer Dick in the first remake, and Officer Dick carries over into the third, at least into the third game. Psycho Jockey. I heard there's a movie theater that's actually accommodating to that crowd, where they're giving permission for them to do it. And honestly, with the way movie theaters are dying, I'm a big cinema guy, so like I'm of two minds where it's like, yeah, it sucks that the minimum wage guy that has to work in the movie theater has to clean up all this garbage. This is not what he needs to be doing on, a Friday night or whatever, or Saturday night. And I get it that if you're going into a movie, you don't want to. You want to have a communal experience with the crowd, where it's like you're all watching a movie for the first time together, and you're kind of having like a cross vicarious thrill of like everyone's reactions and stuff. But you want to kind of keep it tempered and moderate. But at the same time, with a movie like this, where it's becoming kind of like a phenomenon and it's a trend, and there's kind of like a camaraderie and a shared experience that you will probably never forget. A theater experience you'll probably never forget if that was to happen. I'm of the mind that as long as nobody's setting off fireworks or nobody's getting hurt, you can have moments like this, and just theaters should just be prepared for that. It's like, okay, just be like, just don't think of it as like, that, like, don't be like the movie theater snob where you have to follow the rules and this is the theater etiquette and all. It's like some movies like this can have fun or whatever, but at the same time, I have the same mind where it's like, if you're just trying to work your job and you're not necessarily trying to, I don't know, like, not every movie theater or Cineplex or whatever you go to is going to be on the same page when it comes to that. At the same time, I don't know. It's like it's something to think about. I would never want them to do that if I was watching like I don't know, like The Godfather or something, some like very classic film or something. It's like, and everyone's just gonna be jumping and hanging from the rafters. It's like, no, I want to like let's all be adults and let's watch it. Let's watch the film. But for a movie like that, where it's just a fun video game movie and it's a trend, like I don't know, you can kind of lean into the fun of it. Like I don't know, the movie theater experience is very sacred, but I get it at the same time that there's some exceptions. You said, bro, there was no one in that theater of that version of Minecraft movie. And you fight enemies like bad ideas, sensors, and panic attacks. That's cool. You said, but I'm sorry. You said, bro, there was no one in the theater of that version of Minecraft movie. In what version of? I'm just a little confused by that. Like, what do you mean? What version? Like of the Minecraft movie we're talking about? Because I've just been seeing those YouTube videos of just people like going crazy. But you said that you fight enemies like bad ideas, sensors, panic. I like that too. I like that they're using like those negative triggers within as like an antagonist. That's cool. New character unlocked.
All right.
Tommy. This character is now available to play when you start a new run. Traits, custom sniper rifle. So he starts with a sniper rifle. Oh, if you play custom, I don't know. Sturdier against melee. Can't dodge. Can't dodge. That's weird. And marksman upgrade branch. They said there's a new version of the Minecraft movie where you can make all the mess you want that came out recently. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that there's theaters that are allowing it to happen, and they're giving them like popcorn guns or whatever, like big popcorn like launchers and stuff, and that's cool. I like that because you're never gonna forget that. Some of my favorite movies that were more like just like big, like I remember like seeing the Simpsons movie for the first time, and I'm like I have I have my criticisms of the Simpsons movie, but I'll never forget that theater experience of seeing it on at the midnight showing, and everyone's dressed in yellow, and everyone like it's like everyone in the room is a Simpsons fan. Like that was so cool to me. And there's some people in the room who are just like casual viewers, so everyone's experiencing it. Like that was a very memorable experience for me. The movie theater for that, seeing The Matrix for the first time, or The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions in theaters was a big memory for me. Look, there's just so many movie theater like with the way movie theaters are kind of like becoming a little, I wouldn't say fully obsolete, but they're not. With streaming, it's just hard to. You're not going to the movies as often. I just think I don't know, whatever you can to preserve memories or to create memories is a good thing. You said, bro, when the minions. You said even the theater owned joined in on the fun. Oh, the theater owner joined in on the fun. That's cool. That's good. Being a good sport, I'd say. You said, bro, when the Minions came out, everyone came in suits for some reason. I never saw the Minions movies, but I remember that was a big thing for a while, especially for your generation. That's cool. I guess we can stop there. We did our two for the countdown. I just want to say next week I'll be doing an episode, but then that following week I'm going to be going on vacation for the entire week. I'm going to be going to New Hampshire, or not New Hampshire, North Carolina. So the last two episodes of the season, I think I'm going to have to lump those two together. Because I'm not going to be here at all. I'm not going to have any of my broadcasting equipment with me. But next episode I'll be able to talk about this Sunday's episode. But just to give you a heads up that I will be going on vacation for a week, and because of that, I won't be here for the last two. I won't be here until until the season's over, to talk about the last two episodes of the season. I'm sorry, I kind of like went off on my own little rant. It's like, so yeah, but yeah, Psychonauts 2, good soundtrack. That's my number 9. He said, "Oh, I see. Hope you have a nice time." Thank you. Yeah, good number, good. So far, good list, I'd say. I guess to recap, my number 10 is Helldivers 2. My number 9 is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Your number 10 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's and the Forgotten Land, right? Not Kirby, colon the Forgotten Land. I think it's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And then number 9 is Psychonauts 2. Interesting games. So far, we're different with our list. Okay, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. These are games like it's like the grass is greener on the other side for me. Like I would play these games. I think I never knew much about Psychonauts, but now that you described like kind of like the general premise of it and like kind of the concept, like I think it's pretty clever and I like the idea of it, especially like as a platforming game, you know. I'm guessing there's puzzles to it too, like for problem solving or whatever. But yeah, cool list. I think we'll leave it there. At the moment, I think there's like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater Fest thing that's happening. That's gonna have like announcements. That's like 36 minutes. It seems, and plus there's just a lot of like news coverage of Tony Hawk today that I haven't even seen yet. So yeah, I better go watch that. So Pelpa Pig, it's been a pleasure. We'll continue this next time. Anyone who wants to like, comment, or subscribe to Kev Plays 9490 on YouTube, it's greatly appreciated. And you can follow me on Twitter at Let's Watch Series. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, keep a clear head, and keep on gaming. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.